Back here, Mr. President Zelensky, is it true that the USA is demanding that Ukraine also give up the areas in Donbass that have not yet been occupied by Russia? And a question for both the Chancellor and the President. Is it with the question of security guarantees conceivable that troops from NATO or EU countries, for instance, secure a front line as a security guarantee, boots on the ground? And the question that interests many people is, will there be a ceasefire in Ukraine by Christmas?
Mistakes with the translation. I think Ukrainian speakers understood what it was about. We'll try. If I understood the second part of your question. First of all, I would like us to treat the President's delegation with respect. Trump, I don't believe that the USA demanded anything. I see us as strategic partners. Therefore, I would formulate the issue of territories as follows. The Russian vision or Russian demands we heard from the USA. We perceive this as a demand of the Russian Federation. And therefore, I also could not demand anything from the USA, but convey to my colleagues in the USA to relay our vision to the Russians. That's how I would respond to your questions. That's why I said there are sensitive issues. We exchange thoughts and also hear the vision of the Russians or their goals. We make efforts to explain our position. I am glad that we are being heard. And regarding this issue, such a sensitive one like territory, what will come out in the end, we will see together. Besides this, there were questions on which we had the same vision, basically, during the dialogue. So, regarding the second part of your question, it's about the line of contact, right? I didn't quite understand that there will be some presence. We are discussing security guarantees. And my message regarding security guarantees is that before taking certain steps on the battlefield, the military and the civilian population must have a clear understanding of what the security guarantees will be. Understanding. This is very important. Since the U.S. is not offering us NATO membership, because membership to NATO is entirely written out, understandable, although I don't exactly know how it would work. Well, thank God that NATO countries are not yet engaging in action. This means they have a peaceful life. Therefore, it's important that the United States perceives Article 5 like plus appropriate security guarantees. We are just now working to have all this written out, and we are making progress there. I see military details from the military, which they have been developing. They look very good, although it is a first draft. And the issue of monitoring during the ceasefire is, in my opinion, a part of the security guarantees. The issue of monitoring, who carries out monitoring, in what format, and what sanction steps for violating this monitoring in all areas, these are the questions I raise, and it is important that we all agreed that we need to work it out. And who is on the contact line during the ceasefire? These are people, corpses, technological monitoring, or all together. This is an issue under development by the military, and I would give them the opportunity, as they are professionals, to work it through further and propose it for victory. Thank you for the question. First of all, we had such a first meeting, or the first such days of meetings in this composition with Mr. Witko, Mr. Kushner, and also with the United States team. Before this, similar meetings our team conducted, and there were meetings together with European representatives of national security advisors. Well, and many meetings, of this American team took place in Russia with Putin. I always really wanted this team to come to Ukraine, but I was prepared that if it wasn't possible due to various reasons, we could have a long conversation or conversations and try one to understand each other. And there was indeed progress on many issues. I'll be honest, I don't know how the parties of aggression will perceive the results of our talks. What's important is that we were heard. I have a deep understanding of the details of this war, and it is very important that our colleagues in the United States heard all these details. Undoubtedly, if we had these meetings earlier, I think the progress would be even greater. But I am grateful to them for our really good work together. There are some things that, in my opinion, are destructive and definitely won't help us. It's important that I don't see them in our new versions of documents today. And for me, it's important because dignity matters, and the issue of concessions is certainly relevant. I believe that the question of territories is a painful one. The issue of territory is painful because Russia wants what it wants, and there's no need to go further into the long dialogue. We clearly understand what they want, and some may believe it, some may not, but we know 100% what they want. Certainly, we have different positions with Russia regarding territories. This also needs to be understood and talked about openly. I am glad that we heard each other, and I think that the American side as a mediator will propose different steps to find at least some consensus. I would like the USA to continue in the format of mediation on these issues. Continue in the format of mediation. In the middle, this would have important prospects for us. As for other issues, including recovery, what finances Ukraine needs, who should pay for what, no matter what compromises are made, a compromise cannot be found with the truth. But it is certainly necessary to find dialogue. And we will do everything to find answers. Answers to questions of security guarantees, territories, money as compensation for Ukraine, to rebuild Ukraine. This money will not just appear out of nowhere. It is necessary to understand the source. And therefore, I think everyone understands our position on frozen assets. But there are many different agreements concerning both security and rebuilding, and a framework agreement on security and a deeper agreement between the military regarding the details of this security. Much progress has been made, and I am grateful for that.
$25 करोड़ गरीब गरीबी को परास्त करके बाहर निकले।
For the good of our nation, let's work together and let's truly make America great again.
The fastest news breaks.
Requested PM saying that look, you will have to speak to Putin and to Zelensky.
The biggest news makers.
The relationship with India is probably the most important bilateral relationship the U.S. will have for the rest of this century.
The capital delivered quite an election result today.
Expert analysis.
The million-dollar question today is how to stop this dance of death.
Ground reports.
I'm standing at the crossroad of the Kumbh Mela. Behind me are more than 100 entry ghats.
Long-form interviews.
Exclusionary politics is reflected in Manipur case as well. You don't bother because this is a small state.
Deep dive into burning issues.
It's often said DRC could be the richest country in the whole world. It's because of what sits underneath.
Why exactly did the US topple the Sheikh Hasina government?
HT videos. We don't just break news, we break it down.